Okay, now we're back. So here's another update on the positions. With starting off with the TNA, I sold on the trendline breakdown here for a profit of 500% gain. Uh, and those were on those options. I had $45 options that I bought back here at $28. And had I have just bought the stock, I would have only profited 28%. But because I had those options, they are up. I made a 500% profit. That's like a 4 or 5x right there. Then an update on marathon. So of course, marathon is going down quick and fast, but I had my trend line here and I was able to sell right at the trend line. I only sold half my position, which is the position I got here in December at this cycle low. The position in my first video, the first ever options I ever bought, I still hold them. The ones I bought back here in October. Um, the one back here in October is still up 1,000%, like 700 to 1,000%. Last time I checked, and the position I sold that I got back in December, I sold for 250% gain. So I'm still half in here. I'm hoping that we can have a quick turnaround this week and maybe go up because looking at Bitcoin, which is really what drives marathon stock. I had this trend line set here, and if I wanted to sell my Bitcoin position, I should have sold at this trend line, but I decided to just move it here because it still has this little wick here that touches it, and when you put it there, it doesn't look like it actually closed below that. So this to me is still okay. Where I might get a little scared or where I might think about selling is if we break this green Fibonacci line, which is also the cycle low. Because if we break that, then it's probably going to go lower, and the next cycle is probably going to come down here somewhere. So yeah, marathon half in, half out. I'm going to re-enter this actually. I'm going to buy January and June calls. That way I don't have to have the the expiration anxiety. Of course, in my last video I said that I bought the March calls, and March is coming up here. We got only 2 months for this. They're the March $32 calls. We have 2 months to hit $32, and it might happen, but it's just too risky for me. So I'm going to take the money that I made here, that position I sold here at the trendline breakdown, and this week I'm going to look to try and get some $40 calls for June. I'll put half in June, half in January, because I don't think the bull run is over. Bitcoin looks like it still has a little bit of strength here. And of course we have the halving in April. We have the Bitcoin halving in April, so having a June and January call option will put me, well after the halving, which is when Bitcoin tends to, go on the parabolic runs like we saw back here in this halving, and then this halving right here. This was the, the 2016 halving, whatever, 2018. So that's what I want to do. The target for marathon is, a big parabola. It's very easy to play these big parabolas. When it starts making its bull run, when the Bitcoin starts going up, we just draw another trend line going up like that, and then we'll sell it on the breakdown, just like with MicroStrategy here. Now with MicroStrategy, I ended up breaking even on this trade because I didn't respect the trend line going up. I should have sold when it broke the trend line. So I closed this trade out and I broke even on it. With Coinbase, however, I did get a 10x on this trend line breakdown. I bought the options down here on the breakout, and those options actually 10x'd. I actually sold them for a 10x on this trend line breakdown. So these trend lines, they're very, very reliable. If you respect them, you can make a lot of money off these trend lines. With the TNA, the money I made from TNA, I took all that money and I put it into a real estate short by buying puts. I bought puts on what is this called? Oh, the Vanguard Real Estate ETF via NQ, and I bought puts for June. So I drew the break-even line here. This is my break-even line. If the price is below this line, I am making money. If it's below this line, I am losing money. And I actually did some math, and I think that you're probably better off, because my target here is going to be $70. I think that we're going to come all the way back down here. But I did some math, and I think it's actually, you're better off buying this real estate bear 3x ETF. So when real estate goes down, this ETF goes up 3x. So if real estate goes down 1%, this ETF will go up 3%. And I think it's just a safer play, and you'll probably make more money because there's not as big of a risk of you losing 100% of your investment like with buying puts. So I'll probably get rid of these puts. I'll probably keep them just to see what happens, see if I am actually going to outperform this bear ETF. But yeah, puts are not the way. I think that if you want to put something, make sure you check and see if there's a bear ETF, because bear ETFs or inverse ETFs are probably a safer bet, and you might actually make more. Like this 3x, that's a lot. That's a lot of leverage. And yeah, so this is where I put my money from the TNQ play with all these miners and the exchanges. The money I made from this, I'm probably gonna just re-enter into Marathon with half of the money I made from those trades, with those June and January call options, probably $40, with the target of $100 for the stock. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the other half of that money. I'm looking at gold. Gold is interesting because what you have here is, ignore all this gibberish. What you have is this huge cup and handle pattern that spans about a decade, almost 2 decades. Here, let me put it on the weekly chart. So you have this cup and handle forming here, and if you actually look here, you can kind of see that the handle is made out of like an inverse head and shoulders. And if you take the measured move here from the head to the neckline, and then you take it and move it to the neckline, you have a target of like 2,000, 2,500 for gold per ounce. So this might be something I'm looking at. I haven't entered it yet because it's not ready yet. It's just not breaking above the neckline yet. So we got some time here. It'll probably do something like this, where it maybe comes down here, plays around with us a little bit, then comes out, breaks out, then goes out to the big numbers that we're looking for. Another stock that I'm looking at is Tesla, because Tesla is also in this super long, this is like a 2-year consolidation triangle. And as you can see, I try to trade in and out of this a little bit. I have a huge position in this, but right now, if I'm looking for a new position, I'm looking at buying maybe this bottom trend line here, which goes back to these 2 points, this AD. So that's about, if we could get to 212, that'd be a nice place to buy. And then, of course, we're reaching the end of this triangle where I expect us to break out and make a new triangle higher up. Because what this looks like to me, or my thought process behind this, is that Tesla was like the highest market cap stock to enter the S&P, and so you have all these institutions that like missed out on it. So it makes sense why they would want to shake everyone out with this huge triangle here. And then once everyone's scared and the institutions all own like most of the stock, whatever, they're going to shoot it up. And then everyone's going to panic and then buy up at the $500. And then to put it in another multi-year, triangle consolidation. And it's this breakout that I want to be in here. So, buying the bottom of this trend line at like 212 would probably be a good entry. But I don't think it's ready yet. Just something I've been thinking about. This is the Tesla pivotal moment. So, yeah, that's an update on the trade. And with gold, when it's time, and I think eventually it'll be time for it to break this neckline and end this huge consolidation, I'm gonna buy some of this. But I'm also, just like Bitcoin, I'm gonna buy the miners. I'm gonna buy, the Bitcoin gold miners ETF. I'm gonna buy maybe some of this 2x leveraged ETF on the gold miners. There's a lot of these ETFs that are like leveraged 2x, and I think these give better opportunity maybe in some situations than options, because options you can lose all your money. I think options should only be used in like crypto related stocks, because crypto goes huge parabolic, and that's where all the money is going to be made, in those huge parabolic moves. And I just think crypto's the best place for that. So yeah, that's the update. When I rebuy the options in Marathon stock, I'll make another video. Again, I'm still half in on these options with the options I bought back in October. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's it. I'll make another video when I re-enter, and I'll probably do another thing like this. A lot of people ask me how I make this line here, this break-even line. I just go on the options calculator and I just plot the points. There's a website called Options Calculator. This one here, and you can just, you just put in like Marathon, and you pick what option you want. So let's say January 35, and you calculate it. You can just plot these points on your break-even line here, this like white line, and then that's how I get these lines. I just plot these points here. It's very simple, and then you can visualize when you're making money, when you're not. So right now this put ain't making money. It's not making money. It has to be below this line. But as you can see, we have this downtrend here. Hopefully it'll follow that, and by January 29th I might start making money. So yeah, thanks for following. Thanks for watching the video.